So the idea of a completely modern day Assassin's Creed game has been in the minds of many fans within the community, but would it work? No. I mean, in some aspects it might work, but in others it would really restructure Assassin's Creed and it wouldn't really feel like Assassin's Creed, would it? Knowing Ubisoft, a modern day Assassin's Creed game would consist as this for the entire 12 hours or whatever. Jokes aside, would a modern day Assassin's Creed game work? Probably not. You see, back when Assassin's Creed was actually good, it used to focus upon two things. The modern day aspect is sort of secondary but major in the story and very important, and the historical setting, which was equally as important for the story there in the game. And without both of these elements, it doesn't really feel like Assassin's Creed, does it? Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate were basically 100% in the game, and there was only like a little sliver. There wasn't even 0.1 where you were actually in the modern day, watching Bishop talking shit, which didn't really count, I don't think, because all we got to see was sea stuff. We didn't get that modern day element that we needed. However, at the same time, we got the historical thing, and it didn't feel like Assassin's Creed purely because one of the elements was missing. And although it was the modern day, and we're talking about vice versa here, the same would work. It wouldn't feel like Assassin's Creed. The concept of Assassin's Creed really focuses on this little blend between the modern day and the historical setting. If you were to remove one, like I just said, it really wouldn't feel like Assassin's Creed, and that begs the question, is it worthy of being known as Assassin's Creed if that happens? Well, if it's in the universe, yeah, of course, but it wouldn't feel like Assassin's Creed, and you wouldn't treat it like Assassin's Creed. It'd feel like something else, and that's why I think the modern day wouldn't work, purely because the restructuring would take so much of the original games away, the stuff that we really loved, and then it would just be a different structure entirely, and it wouldn't even feel like the same franchise, which is something we don't necessarily want. The modern day definitely needs to come back with gameplay in it, but a full modern day game really wouldn't work, not even for the final Assassin's Creed game if there ever was one. However, I feel as if Assassin's Creed has gotten to a point where it really won't end. I mean, I can understand people saying they could do it like Assassin's Creed 3, just open world and stuff. You see, they could say, let's do it like Assassin's Creed 3 with all those missions where they seemed really well made. Yeah, the missions in Assassin's Creed 3 were decent in the modern day. However, an open world version of that would be a disaster. Modern day structures are a lot different to historical ones. They're a lot larger because of science, and they've got a lot to them. And I mean, everything has a bit of sophistication to it, but on the scale of, say, in the modern day, if it was in some bloody American city or something, those buildings are tall af, man. Climbing that's a lot of stuff to load in. That game's going to be huge. It's in a practical sense and a technological sense, it really is impossible to do it in the same way even still. You'd have to restructure the game even more. So it's not a good idea on the basis that it's technologically improbable. I'm not going to say impossible, because there are some really surprising and beautiful games out there, but it's not likely that it's going to be possible. However, I'd personally love to see modern day in a game come back with gameplay and have interesting missions and stuff that I can feel invested in. That's something that I've really missed since the end of Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed 4 and Rogue were a little bit off, and Syndicate and Unity, they weren't even trying, let's be honest. Ubisoft themselves even said at one point that it's unlikely that they ever will do an Assassin's Creed game based entirely on the modern day, because the historical point of it all is crucial to the game. And that's true. So, from a technological standpoint and a practical standpoint, it's a little bit improbable. And from a more, I don't know what word to use, an interest-based standpoint, it's also not likely. Completely modern-day Assassin's Creed just wouldn't be Assassin's Creed. But a lot of fans do want a modern-day Assassin's Creed game for some reason. A completely modern-day Assassin's Creed game, I mean. Ubisoft should take the hint and put playable modern day back in the games, so we get modern day and people don't crave for this more modern day, so that we can actually think about interesting settings as well. So the interesting setting and a good modern day, and it will be half of the intrigue of the speculation is also what setting will they go to next and stuff, But if it turns out to be modern day, it's like, that's pretty shit. It's like with Victorian London, it's like, that's pretty shit. And with Revolutionary Paris before, like, that's the 18th century again, pretty shit. And with Rogue, it's like 18th century shit. With Assassin's Creed 3, it was probably the last time we got excited for a setting. Then there was Black Flag, which a lot of people got excited for as well, me included. So Black Flag was probably the last time we got excited for a setting. Since then, none of them really appealed. Rogues, Unities, Syndicates, they didn't really appeal. And I feel as if a modern day setting wouldn't appeal either, because it's too modern, and the historical thing is meant to feel historical and warm, I guess, and stuff like that. And if it's all modern day, it feels like there's no adventure element to it. It'll just feel like it's just some action for the game, and you'd be like, this is not Assassin's Creed. And I feel as if everyone would feel that way after about playing 3 hours of it, like, okay, when are we getting an Animus, you know? So I feel as if, yeah, maybe a modern day game entirely isn't such a great idea. I mean, in fairness, the modern day, like I said, does need to come back. It needs to have a strong presence in the games that it's been lacking for the past few years, for sure, 100% agree. But it doesn't need a full game on its own, because that wouldn't work, just like the historical settings on their own don't work either, because they sort of complement each other in the narrative, and that's how Assassin's Creed works. If you restructure it, it really won't feel like Assassin's Creed, and, you know, even Ubisoft sort of sees that, and I feel as if that's a good indication that it's what should not happen. But in conclusion, in a practical sense, and in a story narrative sort of sense as well, it really wouldn't work. Technologically, basically fits into practically, it wouldn't work. It's a very ambitious idea. It would take a lot of restructuring, which would damage the feeling of Assassin's Creed, making it not feel like Assassin's Creed, while at the same time probably being very difficult to do, because you'd have to have these massive buildings that were scalable and stuff like that, and stuff that would just cause too much, you know. Like, I mean, I can understand if they just went with parkour, but then it would feel more like Watch Dogs, and that's a different franchise entirely, isn't it? And that would be easier to do than to make everything scalable, but at the same time, the scalable climbing business, that is Assassin's Creed, so it needs to be there. And in reality, there's no way you can make it work. It's not a concept that is going to be implemented into the game anytime soon, where you get like a full modern day game, because it simply wouldn't work, because the scale is too big. It would take so much restructuring that it wouldn't feel like Assassin's Creed, and it would sort of damage the narrative, which sort of ties into the previous point, but at the same time it would, and it, you know, that's not really acceptable, is it? So there you have it. That is why Assassin's Creed in a modern setting would not work. Like a complete modern setting, like with Bishop sitting there like, hello initiate, hello initiate, hello initiate, after every mission, and then Sean being like, greetings initiate, greetings, and they'll have that donkey and he'll find his toilet roll. After all, not such a bad idea. But in seriousness, it wouldn't work, would it? But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share, comment. I'll see you on the next one. So yeah.